Life on Earth began in the seeds and water essential for survival of all forms of life. About three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Hydrosphere. There are two types of water on Earth. They are freshwater rivers, lakes, ponds, and saltwater seas and oceans. Based on the dissolved saltwater can be hard water, sulfates, nitrates of calcium, magnesium, or salt water. If the hardness can be removed by boiling, it is temporary hard water, and if boiling does not help, it is permanent hard water. Water is one of the main agents in pedogenesis, is soil formation. It is the medium for several different ecosystems. It is present as moisture in the atmosphere and the outer layers of the lithosphere and is uneven and in distribution on the earth. Water is heavier than air, imparts greater buoyancy to the aquatic medium. Water has high heat capacity and latent heat, due to which it can withhold large amounts of heat. Thus, oceans, lakes, and tend to have maintain a relatively constant temperature, and biosphere is relatively thermostable. Water is physically unique because it is less dense than solid ice than as a liquid. When water freezes 0 degree, it contracts. The maximum density of liquid occurs at 4 degrees Celsius. Below that, it expands markedly. This enables ice to float on the top of water bodies. Hence, only the surface of water bodies will freeze, while the below the surface water will be in liquid form. Water is constant as a universal solvent. It is the main medium by which chemical constituents are transported from abiotic components to the living components of an ecosystem. Water has high surface tension. This allows pollen, dust, and even water striders to remain at the surface of a water body, even though they are denser in the water than the water. Soil is a mixture of organic matter, minerals, gases, liquids, organisms that together support life. The soil zone is known as pedosphere. Soil is formed from rocks or the parent materials of a study by weathering and is called embryonic soil. Pedogenesis. Four major functions for soil: medium for plant growth, means for water storage and purification, modifier of Earth's atmosphere, habitat for many living organisms, which in turn modify the soil. Soil is formed of many horizontal layers called soil profile. Texture of soil is determined by the size of the soil particles. The types of soil include sand, silt, and clay on the basis of their size differences. The space present between the soil particles in a given volume of soil are called pore spaces. The percentage of soil volume occupied by pore space or the interstitial spaces is called porosity of the soil. A characteristic of soil that determines the movement of water through pore spaces is called soil permeability. Soil permeability is directly dependent on the pore size. Water holding capacity of the soil is inversely dependent on soil porosity. Soil gets its heat energy from solar radiation, decomposing organic matter, and heat from the interior of the earth. Soil temperature affects the germination of seeds, growth of roots, and biological activity of soil inhabiting micro and macroorganisms. In soil, water is not only important as a solvent and as transporting agent, but also maintains soil texture, arrangement, and compactness of soil particles, making soil habitable for plants and animals. Wind is the natural movement of air of any velocity from a particular direction. The two main causes of differential heating between the equator and the poles and the rotation of the planet Coriolis effect. Wind helps to transport pollen, grains, seeds, and even flight of birds. While it is the source of wind energy, it also causes erosion. Wind speed is measured with an anemometer. Moisture in the form of invisible vapor in the atmosphere is called humidity, which is generally expressed in terms of absolute humidity, relative humidity, or specific humidity. Absolute humidity is the total mass of water vapor present in the given volume of mass of air. It does not take temperature into consideration. Relative humidity is the amount of vapor present in air and is expressed as a percentage of amount needed for saturation at the same temperature. Relative humidity is expressed as a percentage. A high percentage means that the air-water mixture is more humid than at a given temperature. Humidity is measured with a hygrometer. Altitude is mainly the elevation or gradient, and it affects temperature and precipitation in an ecosystem or biome. As altitude increases, temperature and density of oxygen decreases. Higher altitudes usually receive snow instead of rain because of low temperature. Animals are known to modify their response to environmental changes in reasonably short time spans. This is known as acclimatization. This is observed when people who have moved from the plains to higher altitude show enhanced RBC count within a few days of settling in the new habitat. This helps them cope with the lower atmospheric oxygen and higher oxygen demand. Biomes are large regions of Earth that have similar or common vegetation and climatic conditions.